Welcome to Fimiesdessertsville YouTube channel. So today we are going to be learning something a little bit different from the usual. It's actually a banana bread recipe. Okay, so a lot of people have said in time past that banana bread is like a cake or it's like a bread, like in between. But really, personally, I don't even know how to strike a balance. But once your banana bread is actually very nicely made with the right amount of ingredients and everything that contributes to the moisture, which is basically and majorly the bananas, ripe bananas, it could be any species. Trust me, it's going to be like a nice balance of a slightly fluffy cake and a bread like texture. So let's go together to bake this. I already pre-measured everything out as always to make this faster. It's actually a recipe, first of all, that doesn't require any mixer, so anybody can actually run by this very quickly. The only thing you're going to be needing to bake it is actually an electric oven. And let me even tell you something, it's even very possible for you to bake up your banana bread without an electric oven or a gas oven. You can actually use a double boiler style using the stove and the pot, but that is going to be a story for another day. So for today, I'm going to be using my oven to bake this up, and the bake time takes about 25 to 35 minutes depending on the intensity of your oven, but it's always going to be on the mark of 180 degrees centigrade. So it's basically not a recipe that you're going to over mix, because the more you mix this, the more you toughen the recipe, or like the result basically. So the idea is to do this as fast as possible and as in the quickest possible time, like in fewer strokes and all of that. So basically, let me just quickly run by the ingredient measurements and everything. So first of all, you're going to be needing, depending on the size of bananas you have. Okay, these are small bananas, so I'm going to be using 5 of this. Okay, as in already washed and ready to be peeled. I should have even mashed it before the class, but I just wanted to show you. For instance, I do not have a banana masher, so I'm going to be improvising using this one. You can actually use a fork as well, but make sure it is thoroughly mashed so that you can get the flavor and the moisture out of it. So now I'm going to be using 5 of this. You could use 3 if you have the typically large bananas, but you don't want to overly overwhelm the recipe with bananas, so you have to strike the balance. So I'm going to be using 5 of this. Alright, so I'm going to be using just 1 egg. The egg is basically to just bind up the ingredients together. It's not supposed to be a very fluffy cake, so yeah, the egg content is actually reduced. So you're going to be needing 1/4 cups of vegetable oil or melted butter, so whichever one you have access to. I'm going to be using the vegetable oil here. So if you feel like you want to have a slightly buttery taste, you can use your butter, salted, unsalted, whatever it is, but unsalted obviously, because there's still going to be the room for the salt. Usually it calls for a pinch of salt, but for accuracy I always call for 1/4 teaspoon. So anyway, when I get there, okay, so I'm going to be using 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I've already pre-measured here. 1/4 cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, depending on whichever one. This is the light brown sugar, and you all know how brown sugar actually aids moisture as well, so follow through closely. I'm going to be using 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor. This is it already here. 1 cup of milk. That is an outright moisture aid. Alright, so as much as making it creamy and taste better. So you're going to be needing 2 cups of all-purpose flour, as already seen here, pre-sieved. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half of a teaspoon of 1/4 teaspoon of salt, like I already mentioned earlier. That's 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Alright, and then 1/4 cup of chocolate chips in chunks. Alright, so that's 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, as well as 1/4 cup of chocolate chunks. That's, you can actually use any good bar chocolate and just chop it up to the size that you want, as long as it's not too small, whatever it is, so it can just chew properly. Additionally, optionally, which I always advise you not to omit, you need to add up toppings on top of the banana bread batter before you pop it into the oven. So I have an additional quantity of another 1/8 of the chunks and the chips here, in addition to the crushed almond chips I have here. Some people can actually add some coconut or whatever it is, just to spice it up. Banana bread is always interesting, except you want to keep it extremely simple. So as it is now, we're just going right into it now. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, and of course you're going to be needing a bread loaf pan, smaller one, bigger one, whatever it is. This is what you're going to be using. That's the typical shape of the banana banana bread. It's a bread, remember. So here, this is what banana is like. So I'm going to be peeling it off. Don't mind what it looks like, just shows that it's actually very ripe. So before I even go ahead to mash it, I just chop it up in tiny bits to make it easier for me to mash. So I'm just going to be repeating the process on all 5 of them. Trust me, the riper your bananas, the sweeter your banana bread. I have it already in the bowl now. So I'll just go ahead to use this in no particular order to just mash it very quickly. I'm going to cut the video again now because I don't want to waste unnecessary time doing this. It's already obvious. Okay, so mashing the bananas now, and this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to still have tiny lumps in it, but just would look like you processed it. But there is really any no need to process the bananas as long as they're softened and ripe as they ought to be. So this is what it looks like now. Look at it. So at this point now, what you're going to do, and note that for your dry ingredients, that's a combination of the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. You are not going to mix everything together and whisk together as always. You're going to be just adding it over each and over time as you need it. So just work closely. So after this point now, the next thing I'll be going in is the 1 egg. It goes in. You don't whisk it yet. The next thing you do is to add up your milk, oil also, and then you add up all the sugar all at once. Then you take your 1 teaspoon of, this is actually a very quick recipe to whip up, especially if you want to use it for breakfast or anything for the family. See that? So just 1 teaspoon like that. And it's at this point that you just stir it all up together, just until combined. You can see that I'm not even using any wire whisk or anything, as the case may be. It has a little quantity of sugar because bananas are sweet already. Chocolate chip is sweet too, so you don't want to overrule or you don't want to overwhelm with too much sweetness. So after getting to this point now, remove your spatula. Okay, pour all the flour at the same time. See here, all at once. So before you fold that in, you then go ahead to add your salt. Remember I said you want over 4 teaspoons. That's it here. Over 4 teaspoons goes in. Alright. Just over it. And then the baking soda is 1 teaspoon. Yeah. Level this out always so that it can be accurate. Okay. After that is done, you're about 2 minutes away from being done. So just fold this in. Fold it in till very well combined. That's the reason why it shouldn't be with a mixer, because at the end of the day you might tend to overwork it. So just keep doing this. Gentle strokes as same. Just keep folding. Okay, you can already see the bananas already coming up. So see that. Once that is done, go ahead to add your chips and chunks in it. And then keep folding. Fold. If you have watched up until this point, type chocolate chip in the comment box. I have this already available up in my website. That's www.fimiesdessertsville.com. So it's available for purchase. So at this point, our banana bread batter is ready. So going right into the pan now. I'm going to be pouring all of it into the pan. point, and then go ahead to just add all of this as much as you want, really. Trust me, because it always looks a lot better when it has rich, flavorful toppings on top of it. So I'm doing that now, making sure it gets to all the angles. Okay. And then after that, I will then go ahead to just add the sauce, so it gives it a perfect crunch when it's ready. So at this point now, our batter is ready. Taking it into the oven now, bringing it back out in about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on the intensity of the oven, and I'll be back to show you guys the result. Banana bread is ready now, straight out from the oven. So I'm just going to turn it over. Can you see? Despite that it had very little quantity of oil, you still have to extract so much oil. So here, and then this is always a nice part. I'll first of all trim off the edge. That would reveal what we have. So So guys, our banana bread is ready. Can you see the rich chocolate inside of it? See the surface part? See the bottom side? It's actually, I don't know, but can you see? If you look too closely, you'd see the bits of banana in it. And that's all about it. So that will be all for the class today. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you're going to try this out, and I hope you're going to be dropping your feedbacks and reviews as always. Let me know what your thoughts are and your opinion, rather. Yeah, so till next time, guys, I remain your favorite girl, Fimiesdessertsville. Always stay close, guys. Bye.